Welcome to another episode of The Advocates, where we shine a spotlight on the unsung heroes of our time. Today, we feature two passionate animal advocates, Ms. Jumalynne Doctolero, Information Officer 2 of the Philippine Information Agency NCR, and Ms. Rina Ortiz, CEO and co-founder of Biyaya Animal Care. These remarkable women may have soft hearts for animals, but they possess an unyielding conviction to fight for their welfare. Listen and be inspired. This is Rochelle Rubio, and this is The Advocates, Empowering Voices. If you've been to the Philippine Information Agency building in Quezon City, it's impossible to miss the puspins. Around 20 of them can be seen sprawled throughout the building and around the compound. As soon as you enter the main lobby, you'll encounter one or two of them, nonchalant, despite the daily foot traffic. You can tell they are well-fed and cared for by looking at them. Jumalynne Doctolero, Information Officer 2 of the Philippine Information Agency NCR, is one of the government employees advocating for the welfare of the cats of PIA. She, along with fellow employees from different offices such as the Presidential Broadcast Service, Apple Production Unit Incorporated, People's Television Network, and her own office, the Philippine Information Agency, contributes resources from time to time to cover the feeding and veterinary expenses of the strays at the Government Media Center.
It's a collective effort po talaga. It's a collection of all the employees of PIA, also some employees of Apo, and also some employees of PBS. At one point, there was a cat na na-injured. Tapos, doon po kami nag-start mag-solicit ng pambili ng pang-vet niya. Kaso may natira, so pinambili po namin ng pagkain nila. Sobrang dami nun. So, pinapakain po namin yung mga cats. Super dami niya. Tapos po, ang nagkapakain talaga, kasi lagi sila nasa labas, yung mga guards, bale, andyan na yung pagkain, guards po yung nagbibigay, naglalagay sa lalagyanan nila. Umikot lang kami, sabi namin may nalaglag na pusa from 4th floor. So nag-ikot kami, kasi nga feeling namin mahal yung magiging vet niya. Baka pwede niya naman po tulungan yung pusang nalaglag sa 4th floor, gano'n. Tapos nagbigay po sila. One time siya, ma'am, so marami natira. Pero ngayon po, parang PIA employees yung regularly na bumibili, lalo na guard.
What sparked this collaboration among government employees? It all began with a cat that fell from the 4th floor.
Yung isang cat nga po namin na nalaglag sa 4th floor, ang nangyari po doon, nagkagulo yung mga maintenance, yung employees ng PIA. Nagkagulo kasi may nalaglag ng pusa, tapos nandun lang siya sa gilid, tinabi siya para walang maapakan siya, ganyan-ganyan. Tapos, tinawag ako. Sabi niya, tingnan ko daw, ganyan-ganyan. Tinignan namin, tapos, I'm like, naiiyak na ako, pero wala akong pera. Wala akong pera pang dala sa vet. Wala akong means nga, pang dala sa vet. So, sabi ko, wala, kailangan kong puntahan yung may mga pera. Para, ayun, nag-ikot ako sa PIA. Nagkwento ako, sabi ko, may nalaglag na pusa, ganyan, tulungan natin. Tapos ayun, binitbit ko sila doon. Para sila yung ambagan sila. Pero ako yung kami nagdala. Sa kotse ko po nilagay. Tapos dinrive namin.
Thanks to the collective efforts of employees in the PIA compound, the cat survived.
Nakasurvive siya. Bale, nabalik namin siya dito. Apparently, yung pusa, kaya pala siya nagpa-fight to live. Kasi may anak siya na nasa rooftop. So, after namin siyang, di ba, binuwi namin siya dito, binalik namin siya dito, after niya sa vet, tapos sabi ng vet, baka daw, kasi malala na yung nangyari sa kanya, tumayo siya ng dugo. So, yun. Pero kinabang kami, tapos after niya ma-injectionan, mabigyan ng kahit ng gamot, binalik dito kasi hindi kaya yung ganun katagal sa vet clinic kasi mahal. So, binalik siya dito, tapos after niya makagaling ng konting ilang araw, lumabas siya sa cage. Tapos hindi na namin siya makita ng ilang araw, papakainin siya, papainumin siyang gamot. Ayun, nakita namin nasa rooftop. Kasama yung anak niya, yung baby niyang anak na ganito lang kaliliit. Nag-survive naman siya, ma'am, pero may pilay na siya sa right back leg.
Employees of PIA and nearby offices have been caring for these felines since 2016.
Dahil nga po collective effort siya, nagsimula pa po siya bago ako dumating dito sa PIA. So, natanong ko po yung mga kasama ko na nandito na matagal na. 2016 po siya nagsimula nung, yun nga, nagsimulang dumami yung pusa dito. Nagpakain na yung guards and several employees. Tapos, nagtitake turns na lang sila. Kunwari, sino po yung naka-duty today, sila yung magkapakain. Tapos pag weekend, wala pong mga employees. Ay, nagtitake turns din po yung naka-duty ng mga guards. So, 2016 pa po, nagsimula yung pagiging pet-friendly ng PIA.
To help control the cat population within the compound, PIA recently partnered with Meralco and Biyaya Animal Care to have the cats spayed and neutered.
For the naman po, spaying and neutering of the cats of PIA, nagkaroon po kami ng recent partnership with Biyaya Animal Care and Meralco.
Out of the 14 to 20 cats in the vicinity, PIA and Biyaya Animal Care were able to catch 11 for spaying and neutering.
Nung na-spay namin, naka-neuter, so nag-try kami, umikot kami. Bago pala pumunta yung animal clinic dito, nagbilang na kami ng estimate number of cats para alam nila kung ilang cage yung dadali nila. Ang nabilang po namin initially is 14, pero nung day of the paghuhuli, nawala yung iba. Naging 11 na lang, pero sabi po ng mga tao sa PTV, marami pa doon, pero gabi po dumarating. So siguro sabihin natin 20 plus cats po dito sa PIA.
The biggest benefit of spaying and neutering is controlling the animal population, a step that brings numerous advantages, from reducing the number of homeless animals to promoting overall community well-being. It also helps the cats live longer, healthier lives. There are designated feeding stations in both PIA and PTV, where the cats gather during feeding time.
Yung sa vet, pag lang talaga, tulad po nung na-injure, wala kami magawa talaga, kailangan namin siya dalhin. For the feeding naman po, wala siyang specific schedule. Meron lang po kami talagang abang na Tupperware, water tub na nandyan po sa gilid. Sa may PTV, meron din po. Sa part ng harap ng PIA, meron din po. Meron din po sa basement ng PIA na food. So, kung saan po nila gusto kumain, saan sila mga abutan ng gutom, doon po sila kakain.
Two lady guards of PIA even spend their own money to help feed some of the resident cats inside the building.
Yung si Tricolor, pag dadating ko po sa umaga, nandun na po siya sa lobby, nakaabang. At sumusunod po siya sa akin, papunta dito sa taas, third floor. Binibigyan po siya ng pagkain. Pinapakain ko siya.
Yung pinaka-mother nila, yun ang pumupunta dito sa akin, tapos nagkakaano na siya. Parang nangihingi ng pagkain. Yung drain na malaki, alam ko sa apo yun. Hindi pinapakain din ng nag-aapo. Tsaka ito, binilang ko sila ng ganito, spray, kasi nga yung parang nagkakagal.
Despite the presence of cats in a compound that houses 5 government agencies, PIA has not received a single complaint.
Wala naman nagreklamo. Tapos nakakatuwa din kasi yung admin chief ng building ng PIA is pet-friendly din. Pet lover pala, ibig sabihin. Kasi po, meron siyang 2 dog na inaalagaan sa baba. Tapos meron siyang stray cats din sa baba. Nung nagkaroon po kami ng cat na kailangan dalhin sa vet, nagbigay din po siya. Siya ata yung pinakamalaking nagbigay. And also the directorate ng PIA, nagbigay din po ng mga 1K ganyan, pataas. Kami kasi mga 500. Pero sila, yan yung mga malalaking magbigay. Actually, nagugulat nga sila kasi daw, bakit daw mas malakas yung, hindi na mas malakas, like, buhos daw yung support sa animal. Kesa daw pag kunwari may na hospital na ka-employee. Although nagdo-donate pa rin naman, pero mas effort kasi kami pag animals. Like, umiikot talaga kami sa buong building.
Many employees have grown fond of the strays and even have their personal favorites.
Yun yung nasa baba po yun. Yung alaga po yun ng admin chief namin. Kaya that's ang lalaki, diba? Pero ang favorite ko po, si Pia, kasi talagang nung nalaglag siya, galit na galit talaga siya. Alam mo, sobrang nasaktan siya na ayaw niyang may lumapit sa kanya kasi hindi siya makakalaban. Tas hindi ko po siya makita. So, ang favorite ko ngayon yung mahilig mag-anak sa baba. Yeah. si...
Yung kaliko.
Angry ang tawag ko sa kanya kasi yung face niya parang yung face niya matik na galit yung mukha niya, nakaganon siya. Pag makikita niyo po mamaya, kung videoan niyo siya, ganon. Yung mukha niya po ay resting angry face. Tapos kahit i-hi ko siya, tapos tawagin ko siya, hindi ako pinapansin. Isa meron lang siya. So, nakukyutan ako sa kanya.
Jumalynne dreams of one day having a piece of land where she can build an animal shelter.
Pangarap ko pong magkaroon ng isang malaking lupain. Tapos nalulungkot ako pag nakakita ko ng aso na nakatali. Yun, naiiyak ko talaga. Tapos gusto kong gupitin yung Pero marirealize mo na pag ginupit mo or like pinatakas mo sila, na sila kakain. Pero nakakaaway.
PIA's recent collaboration with Meralco and Biyaya Animal Care made the mas kapon of the cats of PIA possible.
Nag-start po talaga yung aming partnership with Meralco. And nagkaroon po kasi kami ng event together. Tapos, yun nga, na-share nila sa akin na meron silang community sa Meralco, yung katropa. So, recently po, nag-open sila ng shelter, as in, nandun po sa, napakita po sa amin yung shelter nila ng cats. Super dami ng cats din. Tapos, nakwento rin namin na meron kaming PIA community cats. Tapos, sinabi nila na pwede namin kayo i-connect sa isang animal care clinic na nag-neuter, nagsispay. Kasi yun po yung advocacy talaga ng animal care clinic na yon. Yung may-ari po talagang as in advocacy niyang makapon lahat ng pusa sa buong bansa nga kung kaya niya. Pero Metro Manila pa lang yung ginagawa niya.
When asked about animal cruelty, Jumalynne became emotional.
Marami po tayo. Marami rin pong cats and dogs sa streets na nakakaawa po sila kasi yun nga, hindi sila makapagsalita. Kunwari, nagugutom na sila, tapos wala silang, kunwari umuulan, super init, wala silang tubig, hindi nila masasabi yon. So, sana maging mabait tayo sa animals kasi wala naman silang ginagawa sa atin. And imagine, lalo na po yung mga nagtatali ng pusa tsaka aso sa labas ng bahay nila. Imagine niyo po yung init sa labas, tapos pag umulan, nandun pa rin sila. Imagine niyo po kung kayo po yung nandun sa labas, nakatali, in that heat and in that weather na umuulan. Diba po, napaka inhumane, pero pang family natin sila, hindi lang sila guard dogs. Nandyan sila, isip nila family ka nila. Nasa isip nila, ikaw lang yung only family nila. So sana alagaan natin, or kung hindi man natin alagaan, wag na lang natin sila saktan, and then ayun, kung may nagugutom, ganyan, bigyan natin ng without harming.
The silent paws of the cats of PIA speak volumes about compassion, community, and shared responsibility. In a busy government complex, their presence is a gentle reminder that kindness can thrive even in the most unexpected places.
This is where the voices of the voiceless are heard. The Advocates, Empowering Voices. Hosted by Rochelle Rubio on 104.3 The Capital. This is where the voices of the voiceless are heard. The Advocates, Empowering Voices. Hosted by Rochelle Rubio on 104.3 The Capital.
She's a true blue animal lover who has been rescuing animals since she was 5. Meet the woman behind Biyaya Animal Care, Ms. Rina Ortiz, CEO and co-founder of this thriving social enterprise, which she helped establish in 2022. Prior to the founding of Biyaya Animal Care, Ms. Rina had already been rescuing animals on her own.
I've been rescuing since I was 5 years old with my lolo. The first dog that we rescued, he called Pulot. And yeah, that's us. So We are 170 plus employees. They're all employees. This is not a NGO. This is a social enterprise. We earn the money we spend. And I have a lot of abono, of course. You can imagine 170 plus. I also like to educate. So we also have three scholars at the moment.
Their advocacy is loud and clear in their hashtag, Stray Free, Rabies Free, Philippines 2035.
Our hashtag is Stray Free, Rabies Free Philippines 2035. We hope to control rabies and the stray population because really kawawa the animals because they are prone to abuse, neglect, and all sorts of things, poor things.
To date, Miss Rina and her team have spayed and neutered approximately 130,000 dogs and cats and have vaccinated over 130,000 animals against rabies. They have also donated millions worth of anti-rabies vaccines to various local government units. Ms. Rina gives us a brief overview of Biyaya Animal Care and its mission.
Biyaya Animal Care was established in 2022. But before that, I was already rescuing and doing TNVR on my own with different veterinary clinics. What happened was a series of unfortunate events pushed me, including COVID, pushed me to decide to open my own. We established first in Katarungan Street in Mandaluyong, and then later, that was for the low-cost spay and neuter. And then later we went to Shaw Boulevard for the full-blown hospital because I do rescue. If you follow me on my page, on my Instagram, Rina underscore Ortiz underscore, you will see that we have in our main sanctuary, we have 1,200 plus dogs and we have hundreds of cats. We're still doing the countdown for the cats. That's in one place. And then we have Binangonan. We have another rescue area in Mandaluyong. Then we have another one in Baguio. So we have about 2,000 animals. We help a lot of rescuers. We help a lot of people who cannot afford to take care of their animals. We find ways. But more importantly, that was established first for me so that when I rescue, I have a complete medical backing because my bills were running too high with the veterinary care. So we have, I think, 14 or 15 doctors at the moment in 3 different locations. We do outreach, meaning we do spay and neuter all over the country, from Pagudpud up to Zamboanga. We have done 130,000, over 130,000 kapons, including over 130,000 inoculations plus of rabies, plus my donating to different LGUs for rabies vaccines.
18 to 20 million. That's the estimated number of stray animals across the country. These staggering numbers drive Ms. Rina to actively advocate for mass spay or neuter or kapon programs and anti-rabies vaccination drives whenever, wherever possible. She believes that addressing the overpopulation of strays through prevention can ultimately reduce government spending on impounding and rabies control measures.
When you think about it, I was thinking about what should I do? A low estimate of 12 million, but I think it's more like 18 to 20 million strays. Or stray doesn't mean that they have no owner. Stray can still mean that they have an owner, but the owner allows it to roam free. So so at 130 plus thousand kapons, that means a very conservative 6 to 8 million dogs and cats that will not be born on the streets, which means a huge savings because there's a multiplier effect, which means a huge savings for what the government needs to spend on anti-rabies. The local government needs to spend for impounding what they spend for, there's about 30,000 dogs and cats that are euthanized every month in this country. What's the root of the problem? It's still humans because the animals didn't choose to be stray. It is irresponsible pet owners or irresponsible humans. So it's really not their fault. So how do I help and fix it? So go to the root of the problem, control the population, and there will be more for everyone.
The millions of stray animals in the country pose a threat to both humans and other animals, making this issue one that urgently needs to be addressed. Biyaya Animal Care recognizes the importance of expanding their efforts by partnering with local government units or LGUs and training local veterinarians in more efficient and cost-effective spaying and neutering techniques.
That's the reason why we started to do kapons all over the country. Like right now, the team is coming back from Samar. Oh, you know what's another nice program we just did? So we can't do it, even if there's like 100 of us. You can't. How do you figure out about 18 to 20 million strays, right? On such a porous and island-based country, right? So we're training doctors now, veterinarians, better techniques, faster, simpler, cheaper techniques to give kapon, and the payback is we train you for free, and you deliver in your area because transportation is a lot and it can cost something. So you take care of your area. So we've trained doctors in veterinarians in the LGU of Las Piñas, veterinarians in the LGU of Mandaluyong, and together with Mandaluyong, because we're neighbors with San Juan, we worked with San Juan, with Manila, the city of Manila, and we trained the Baguio city vets. We were training now in Samar, northern Samar. So it's like a multiplier effect. So when I saw the problem and I'm trying to work with DA, and you know how government is, sometimes it's a lot of bureaucracy. I said, okay, never mind. I will go ahead and do what I need to do. And we can't clone ourselves, but we surely can teach. So you teach them and they'll take pride in this. And so that's what we've been doing.
In addition to their extensive efforts on the ground, Ms. Rina actively engages with lawmakers to seek funding support for animal welfare programs, particularly for mass kapon and rabies vaccination initiatives.
So much so that I was even the one who was working with the Senate and with the BICAM, 221 million that I worked for, used my political capital on for animal welfare, for rabies and kapon. I'm not just telling you the problem. I'm bringing a solution to the table, and I'm willing to have skin. Well, not only skin, my entire body in the game, right? So that's where we are.
What's a typical day like in Biyaya's animal sanctuary?
The typical day starts with looking around because some dogs, they if they're old, they can just die. So they surveil, they prepare the food. We feed them twice a day. We also not only feed them kibble, but we also cook. We buy scrap meat, we pressure cook it, and we add it to the food. Then there's a portion that's the isolation where the dogs and the cats are sick. The veterinary technicians treat them. We also have a puppy area where the puppies get dewormed, vaccinated, and then hopefully put up for adoption. We have a kennel that has just for the skin problems. We have a kennel that are distemper survivors. We have a kennel for the disabled. So we have different kennels and we put them there and we monitor them. All our animals are microchipped, fully vaccinated. And we look out for them and we try to adopt them out. Many animals that are needing homes, but we manage every weekend. Almost every weekend, we are at a mall with our adoptables, trying to push and trying to sell our merchandise.
Biyaya Animal Care organizes adoption drives, including those held in malls, in hopes of finding forever homes for their rescues. However, the challenge of getting animals adopted remains immense, with an adoption rate as low as 4%.
It's difficult. It's very low. It's like 4%. I think 4% only because of the bulk. We just have too much.
On a brighter note, Ms. Rina observes that adoption efforts have improved compared to previous years.
It's much, much better now than before. It's very easy to adopt out a purebred or a what they call a hybrid. Aspens more and more now are taking center stage, and we're able to adopt more and more out. That's why we have the setup. If you ever come to the sanctuary, the setup the way it is because the animals need human interaction. They crave. They are domesticated animals, domesticated by humans, so they crave attention. So right away, when from puppy until they grow old, then older to be adopted out, because we never adopt out unless kapon na sila and bakunado. We never, because we want to stop this, this population growth. So one of our main things is that they need human interaction, and when we adopt them out, they're perfect. We don't have to worry that they'll get pregnant or that they'll get some disease because they mated with another dog outside, etc., etc. And they're fully vaccinated for the safety of the human and the safety of the other pets in the house.
At Biyaya Animal Care, rescued dogs and cats are socialized and accustomed to human interaction, one of the many ways the team prepares them for adoption.
The human interaction, so we have specific people when we gauge from their personality, because some people it's just a job for them, so we gauge from their personality. I know this person is a real animal lover, so they stay with the puppies and the kittens, so that when we adopt them out, they're already very accustomed to human interaction. Then we have a small education side, which is mostly the medical part. And it's a lot.
Ms. Rina emphasizes the importance of having a service-oriented mindset. Gradually, she is creating a ripple effect in spreading awareness and encouraging action on animal welfare among local government units. She is beginning to see this impact as more LGUs respond positively to Biyaya's initiatives.
It's very important that people have this service mentality. So that's why from the name Biyaya, we call ourselves a Kabiyaya Kaba. And our outreach program is called Biyayanihan. Part of that is also to engage the LGU and show them that their constituents want this. So in the beginning, we pay for everything, for all the kapons, da. Then eventually some LGUs, they see the importance, and they see how their constituents really appreciate it. So then they start paying for it, and they do it on their own. Like now Baguio, we trained them, and we were doing it for a long time. And then Mayor Benji Magalong really liked the program. Now Baguio on its own, without us being there, is doing about 60 to 80 capons a week. You just need sometimes to show them. For example, I worked a lot with Cebu, Doc Alice Utlang of the city of Cebu. I liked her programs, and I set up Biyaya Animal Care Welfare Award. And this is the first year she receives it. She received it, and we gave her almost a complete clinic with machines and surgery tables, because she really tries to help the local community. And so that's what I'm doing, in the hope that other LGUs will, catch on. And true enough, a very big LGU in NCR called me, and they said, we wanna win that award. I said, well, it's next year, and you gotta fix your pound first before you win that award. So instead of the usual, bashing online and whatever, I'm like, no, we'll work the soft way. We'll work from inside to change the hearts, hopefully to change the hearts and minds of people, to let them see the benefit. But at the end of the day, it's the LGUs that see, oh no, because, the mayors are on the ground, and they're like, oh no, you're right. I didn't know, ganito, ganon. So they start, even if they're mandated to have that, they start now setting aside funding for that.
Last year alone, Biyaya Animal Care donated millions of pesos worth of anti-rabies vaccines to several LGUs. It is a social enterprise like Biyaya, led by private individuals such as Ms. Rina Ortiz, that's helping the government combat rabies.
Last year, I spent millions on giving away anti-rabies vaccines to certain LGUs because they didn't have bondo.
Even Baguio City, where eating dog meat has been part of cultural tradition, now takes part in the animal welfare campaign led by Ms. Rina and Biyaya Animal Care. Mayor Benjamin Magalong is known as a staunch enforcer of the Animal Welfare Act and firmly opposes the dog meat trade and all forms of animal cruelty.
Mayor Magalong is completely against that.
Cebu and other LGUs are also making significant strides in advancing animal welfare. Ms. Rina actively collaborates with some of them to strengthen these efforts.
Doc Alice Utlang, because she's gonna work for me once she retires. And I told her, you're gonna take care of Vismin for me. We can't keep extracting our doctors to do this stuff. Cebu's gonna do that. And then Doc Melanie Pescadillos, who was the former PCMVLP president. So that's a Provincial City Municipal Veterinary League of the Philippines. She was the past president. We've been working with her a lot. And so I said, okay, Doc Mel, you take care of Negros, although she's still employed and she's still young. I said, you take care of Negros Occidental and Oriental, and Doc Alice will take care of Cebu and other areas because she's actually born, I think, in Mindanao. You take care of those other areas, like when the volcano erupted. We were the ones who went, but I'm always like, no, let it be your project, because what happens is what do you call that word, nasasapawan some people. So I was like, no, Doc Mel, this is your project. They went to Canloon. I gave them the budget we gave to treat the carabaos, the goats, that were burned from the ashfall. We did that with them, and it's like, no.
Although she is not a business person, Ms. Rina understands the importance of keeping their work sustainable.
I have to make things sustainable, hence I have to keep the doctors making money. I have to have other forms of revenue generating with now we have a paw shop where we sell dog and cat food. We have grooming. So a little bit at a time. And I'm not a business person, so this is very new to me.
Biyaya Animal Care generates income through product sales, events, and other initiatives. They rescue, they educate, they continue to serve.
We organize events like in BGC. I think we've done maybe 3,000 or 4,000 TNVRs. Rescues a lot. I mean, I think we did 4,000 last year. Many of those, of course, didn't make it. We teach also how to do TNVR. We work with a lot of animal groups, cat groups, because that's really mostly what there is. And again, we work with a lot of LGUs.
That's a lot of groundwork, and yet she still manages to collaborate with lawmakers on policy making.
I'm part actually of the group of Senator Grace Poe, which she recently just filed, and it passed the third reading, the Animal Welfare Act. I'd like to do that, and I'd also like to change the Rabies Act, which is 2007. That's way overdue. So there's a lot. So in the coming Congress, I'm looking into that because I'm working with some of the Women's Legislative Foundation, the League.
Ms. Rina raised her questions seeking answers.
I think what's important also to know is they don't know the connection between animal and human. So I always say animal welfare is human welfare. Look at the ASF, the African swine flu. Look at all the sicknesses that there's about 150 zoonotic diseases. So these are diseases that can be passed from animal to human and human to animal. Like COVID. COVID can be passed to the animals, but they can't pass it on to us, by the way. All right. So we need to consider that disease control, mitigation, etc., is to the benefit of the human being. So if we take care of our animals, whether dog, cat, cow, carabao, pork, poultry. We're actually taking care of ourselves.
Regarding the problem of rabies in communities, Ms. Rina advocates for vaccinating stray animals with anti-rabies shots.
Why doesn't the DOH and the government think that if all the dogs are rabies inoculated and microchipped, and you wouldn't have to spend so much on the human rabies? The human rabies is 10 times more expensive, maybe more, than the dog rabies. Why? Once somebody gets is bitten by a dog, they have to treat almost the whole family. So yeah, you get it. Or when they die, the burul, and then so why don't we nip it at the butt kind of thing, right? But I'm sorry, I don't want to sound like a know-it-all. I mean, I don't know the challenges at the LGU level, but there are some real gaps that can be filled.
Ms. Rina Ortiz stands firmly against animal abuse and abandonment. She has become a true voice for the voiceless, tirelessly advocating for the strays that society often overlooks.
Where's the humane aspect of that? And is it the stray's fault that they're there? It's not. I find it incredible that, I'm sorry to say this, I'm the one who went to DA and said last year, and I said, there is a crisis. And is it one of those na, oh, it's not important, it's not a priority? You can't, there's no cure for rabies.
Among Biyaya Animal Care's most remarkable rescues are Finn and Justice, two dogs saved on separate occasions, each with a story that reflects both suffering and hope.
There's a video of a mama dog rescuing her puppies from the last flood, and we rescued all of them, and they're all adopted out already. So that's one. There was one there that was really in bad shape. As in, it had everything and it survived. We call him Finn, Finn. He had scabies, maybe about half an inch of scabies on him, had blood parasites, and then needed chemotherapy. It was like, and he's with me now. And then we also have Justice, a dog, a mama dog, and the children were wanting to get the puppies. And so she started to defend her puppies. And that came out in the news. The tanod made her silo and almost beat her to death. And we were able to rescue her and all her puppies. And Justice is with us now. And we filed the case and we won. The lack of respect for life. You teach children young with the animals first. And then it teaches you, especially with a dog, it's never questioned. You're happy one day, okay, you're in bad mood, you don't make pansin the dog, it's okay. They'll still love you. They'll still take care of you. You know what I mean? So these are values that the animals can impart onto the humans. Care, caution, all those things. So there's something that each one can give to each other. And I think they have the right to be on this earth too, right?
When asked why she continues to pour her heart into this work, despite the physical, emotional, mental, and financial toll, Ms. Rina offers a simple yet powerful answer.
I think it's how I'm designed. You learn so much about yourself when you do something or are something for someone who cannot give you back anything.
She shares deeper reflections on the connection between animals and humans, believing that how we treat animals mirrors who we are as a society.
I think we're hardwired for connectivity. Just like caveman days when we're sitting around the fire, right? We can't survive if we don't take care of each other. That is key. That is my religion.
Recently, Biyaya Animal Care partnered with the Philippine Information Agency for a mass spaying and neutering drive, or kapon, for the cats of PIA. Their efforts extend to other government offices as well, and even to the far reaches of the West Philippine Sea, where Ms. Rina and her team conducted rescue mission and kapon for strays.
This is just the first one this is the first one with Philippine Information Agency, but we've done a lot for Meralco. We've done a lot for BSP, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. We've done for many different LGUs, but for government, we did some of the TNVR and DA, believe it or not. Although BAI had done its own thing with another group. So yeah, we've done PNP, krame. Do you know that we've gone to West Philippine Sea? The Navy called me and asked for help, so we flew a military plane and all.
In closing, Ms. Rina underscores the importance of responsible pet ownership and shares her own version of the 4Ps, a personal philosophy that guides her advocacy.
Pag nag-alaga po kayo ng hayop, dapat natin isipin din na may karapatan sila sa buhay and may karapatan din sila na maalaga ng mahusay. So many of that, part of that is deworming, yung bakuna nila, especially yung rabies tuwing taon. Kung wala, yung tinatawag ko na 4Ps, meron ba kayong paglalagyan? Meron ba kayong panahon para ialaga? Meron ba kayong pera para maibigay ng kailangan nila? At number 4 is, meron ba kayong pag-ibig na binibigay sa kanila? The way you treat your animals is also perhaps the way you treat yourself. So, it's very important kailangan namin malaman to na pag wala pang kakayanan, isip-isipin muna natin bago na tayo kumuha ng bagong alaga. Salamat po.
Ms. Ortiz is a shining example of what it means to lead with compassion. Through sheer determination, she moves mountains to defend those who cannot speak for themselves. Animal welfare is not just the responsibility of a few. It's a collective duty. Here in the Philippines, we need stronger policies and consistent enforcement to truly protect our animals. But beyond laws and organizations, real change begins in our communities, neighbors helping neighbors, individuals stepping up, and compassion guiding our actions. Let's not wait for others to act. Together, we can create a kinder, safer world for every animal. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Advocates. I'm Rochelle Rubio. Until next Friday, here on 104.3 The Capital.
This is where the voices of the voiceless are heard. The Advocates, Empowering Voices. Hosted by Rochelle Rubio on 104.3 The Capital.